Hello there. Once again, it's Anton from Anton Bay. Thank you for stopping by the toy room today, collection room. Today I'm taking a look at some comics. These are more of the extremely hard to get a hold of Femforce comics from the post 100 numbers. This is number 152 and number 159. These were the $9.95 cover prices. They are the double size Gargantarama comic books, and they are the super thick. I don't even know how many pages these things have, but they both had flip books because they were publishing a whole lot of content in these books, so it's crazy how thick they are. This is also the phase of AC Comics Femforce that was black and white, which your mileage may vary on that. Some people it doesn't matter, some people it does. I used to really not care on Femforce. It could go either way. However, I have really fallen hard down into the preference for color on Femforce, especially since I've gotten some of the newer books and just seeing how amazingly vibrant their interiors can be. And it really enhances the artwork. And so I kind of look back on these and I'm like, is it good? Yes. Was it so much better in color? Or could it have been? Yeah, I really can see how much better it was in color. Especially this era. It just, in color, would have been better. And you can tell these are, let's see, what year are we dealing with here? Bill Black, 2010. So for a black and white comic to be popping around on the shelves in 2010 like this, it would have been better color. But I also understand that this is not the wealthiest publishers. They can't just do whatever they want, and they bounce back around with different formats and different things. Sometimes they're color, sometimes they're black and white. They just got to do what they got to do, and it's not always going to be the same. I've also noticed, AC Comics with the Femforce titles has fluctuated a lot in size. Not just thickness of the book, which they've done that also, but with like actual height of the book, like size of the book. It gets smaller and sometimes larger, but usually smaller. And grab a hold of a Femforce video. Yes, they make movies. There are Femforce movies out there. I've seen them on eBay. I haven't ever watched one. They seem a little weird, but they are out there and they exist. And if you want one, they exist. So there you go. Switch artists because we're switching to a story. There's just so much packed into these. And yeah, is $9.95 a lot for a comic book, especially in 2010? Yeah, that's a lot. But considering it's an independent, considering it's the size that it is, and this is where the book flips and you go from the other way. I don't know why they ever had them flip. Why you couldn't just do it the other way? Here's more advertisements for their silly movies that they do. 30-Foot Bride of Candy Rock, Gargantarama, The Amazing Colossal Woman, Stormy Tempest, the New York Giantess, or whatever. Called 1-900 Giantess. Nice. So Gargantarama, the comic book, is stuff that they published that almost all centers around large, giant women. Like, all of it. Stories about them. Different villains, characters. Some of them that you would recognize. Some of them that are not even like regulars on the book. Is he crawling in her nose? He's crawling in her nose. That's weird. Yeah, the whole company seems to have a thing for the giant woman. And you get different versions of it too. So you get like this character going on here, and then you get like a different art style, different thing. This is 1943, somewhere in the Pacific. Crazy stuff going on. Dinosaur Girl. Oh, she's actually biting what looks like Godzilla is biting her arm. Wowza. Sometimes it's hard to tell in the scope of comics whether you're dealing with a giant person or just a person in a different background. But yeah, this looks like, yeah, these are giant women fighting. Rowena, the Eye of Eimer, chapter 3. So there's like a story arcs that run through these with, I mean, like there's probably like 4 or 5 different stories just running in the back, just in giant women. And then you hit that, and you're back to your flip book. So I don't know why flip books were a thing. They just were. And these are super thick, almost to the point that it would have been better off for them to leave a square back. I'm sure this was a publishing limitation just due to cost. But see, now that you flipped through it, the book wants to spread because it's so thick. I mean, it's really thick. There's so many pages in there. Wow, that's a lot of artwork on that. A lot of line work. Put your inker into overtime on a book like that. Which reminds me, I probably picked these up from the inker. Go black. I was just looking for the credits. Inked by Scott Shriver. No. There is a guy who does a lot of ink work and artwork on this book and on a lot of Femforce books. And he sells on eBay. And you can buy original inks and original arts from this book from him. And a lot of times he just seems to be selling off, you know, like his old extras or whatever. Inked by Jeff Austin. Jeff Austin would be the guy. I couldn't think of his name, and then I saw it right there. Oh, it's Austin, Jeff Austin. So you can look him up on eBay if you want and buy original Femforce artwork. And he sells little random lots of Femforce comics that he's had laying around. And that's where I got these from. So it's pretty cool when you can buy the comic from the guy who made it, which that's always a thing I appreciate. See, here's another one. Black Venus, Suicide Run, script by Frank Tra. Pencils, Rock Baker, inks by Jeff Austin. So there, if you want anything from Jeff Austin or you like his ink work, you can find it out. Find it on eBay. He's there. And I would say on black and white comics, of course, the ink work is much more important than it is on just your standard color comic. You know, I think he still does the ink work. Having him do the ink work on some of these black and whites, you could tell he had to do a lot of shading, a lot of different things. And it came out really nicely. I think a black and white comic, more than a color comic, really accentuates who your inker is and how it ends up looking. And so I appreciate his work on these. Somehow we've fallen into the land of tiny panels, which is not usually my thing, but it does happen sometimes. Not to sound weird, but like, man, the thickness of this book does make it a little bit difficult to handle. Like, it doesn't want to spread. It's like I'm trying to open up a full-size novel. And it's not like a soft paper magazine. They're very thick pages. Oh goodness, she just ate this woman. (1900) giantess. 1900 giantess. Not a gentleman caller. Funny. Different artwork, different inker, looks like. What's going on? Amazing bird placement. There you go. dinosaur girl. I don't, yeah, okay, because she's wearing dinosaur skins. That makes sense. I was not getting the whole thing. It's like, is it because she's large? Well, partially. I can't remember if these are original stories from like 1943 or probably adaptations, or they're just set there. But I've pointed out numerous times, Femforce are one of those titles that still fights Nazis, and there's still Tommy guns, because they were very much of the mentality, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I think that's cool. And thank you that this book doesn't have to flip over. I appreciate that, because I'm not much big on the flip of the book. I do like having a separate cover. Like, I love that. And I guess to make the cover look right, you got to flip it. But anyway, that is them. I'm going to flip and show the other side. You're right, because now with this other cover, it looks backwards because it's not open the right way. Anyway, I cover these books a lot. I think they're great. Different eras and different times. Femforce is, I'd say it's not very woke as far as that goes, and it stays back to the true comic roots, which is weird sci-fi and pretty girls and killing Nazis and superheroes and their outfits that don't change throughout the centuries and stuff like that. I think it's a worthwhile book to purchase and look for and collect. So that's my thoughts and my story. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys later.